I am already up to my knees though, which might not work. Yeah, I'm gonna have to turn around, maybe go upstream a little bit, see if I can find a more shallow crossing. All right, so we've got a pretty unique anomaly today. I hope it works out. I've heard about this. I don't know if it's real or not. Let's go check. That's wild. It looks like it's real. Okay, so the lake levels are so low this year that there is actually essentially a sandbar that you can cross on foot to get to that island. As I understand it, at no point was this man-made. This is just a consequence of the low lake levels, but I'll have to see that myself to believe it. Because from here it looks like a road. It's wild. Where I'm at right now would normally be underwater. And you got all that way to go. That'll get you to the island. Yeah, from afar it looked like a road, but up close it really doesn't. I mean, there is seemingly like a different level of rock deposit on the ground, but I don't know, it's kind of hard because there's no basis for comparison, right? Like this part's dried up, but would the rest look like that too if that was dried up? I really have no way to know. So instead of trying to pontificate and imagine what it could be, I'm just gonna accept it for what it is, and that is cool and unique. And at the very least, a very cool way to get us somewhere new for today's episode. Because this is so unprecedented for me, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to just in real time show you what I see. If I think to say anything, I will, but for now, just take you on this walk with me. See it on this camera, it looks tropical. You wouldn't think we'd be in frigid old Vermont. Alright, this part looks like it might take a little doing. Honestly, I'm just gonna get my shoes wet. Who cares? We got places to be. I don't know that I've ever been to this mountain, jeez, dummy. I don't know that I've ever been to this island. I've heard people call it Mosquito Island. Hopefully not for good cause. A few episodes back, we kayaked around here to a different island. for an episode, but I don't know that I've ever been here. All right, let's do a time lapse. Well, I would say that is not a bad spot to set up for lunch. This is pretty cool. While I'm not particularly excited about the low lake levels, it is awful unique to be able to get out here like this. And as the summer starts to fade, we're past Labor Day now, I'm grateful for any chance to get out by the water before we head back into the woods for the rest of the season. Alright, on the menu today, Menu 7, United States Department of Defense, beef strips in a savory tomato-based sauce. Let's see what we're working with today. Because the food is already fully cooked, as per usual, we're not going to use this heater pack. We don't need it, but we got our trusty spoon, the staple peanut butter. Maybe I'll try this, I'm not sure. I don't usually do the drinks because I don't like them, but we got tropical blend, fruit and vegetable blend, juice smoothie powder. That's interesting. Interesting that it has blend in the name twice. Tropical blend, fruit and vegetable blend, juice smoothie powder. We can give that a shot. I accidentally dropped blackberry jam. That's new to the season. We can give that a try. We got white wheat snack bread. So I reckon we can make a peanut butter and blackberry jam sandwich out of that. We got our odds and ends pack. Peppermint candy rings. That's new to the season as well. That's interesting. Chocolate pudding with protein. Then we got this for the heating pack. Again, we're not going to heat, but on the ends or on the back, it does have some nutritional information that I always find to be interesting. So, the 5 R's for optimal recovery. Replenish energy stores often. Repair muscles. Replace fluids and electrolytes, refuel regularly, and finally 5, rest and recover for the next mission. Timing is critical. Eat and drink within 30 to 60 minutes after physical activity, and then it breaks down the macros for your recovery meal, good MRE sources, and it says plan ahead, carry ration components with you for quick recovery. I guess the goal here is carbohydrates 80 to 120 grams, protein 15 to 25 grams, and fluids 16 to 32 ounces. I try to always hit 60 grams of protein per feeding, but who am I to argue with the United States Department of Defense? And then here we got our beef strips in savory tomato sauce. That'll be the main course. So I reckon while we get started, might as well go with the tropical blend, fruit and vegetable blend juice smoothie powder. Again, this is something I generally don't do. But this one sounds a little bit appealing. Probably can't see, but that's a powder in there. What I might do is pour the powder into my water rather than my water into the bag. And I reckon I'll make a little bit of a mess, but such is life in the big city. I'm gonna go light with this. It says 1 serving per container, but fool me twice. You know what I'm saying? Obviously there's no one else out here to mistake it with, but I always take these off so I know which one's mine when I'm drinking. Let's give it a shot. They call it a smoothie, but if you only use a little, I reckon it's juice. That tastes like what you would imagine juice would taste like in a dream. It is starting to check all of the boxes, but not quite getting there on any of them, except color. I'll probably come back to that. All right, we got our white wheat snack bread. I don't know what white wheat is. That sounds a little redundant, but here's what it is. Smells like wheat, looks like white. I guess that's what it is. I'll try it just by itself before I make the sandwich. Man, these breads are always the cakiest thing in the world. And that's a good thing. That is my vote of approval. So now I'll break it in half and we'll make a sandwich. Starting with the blackberry jam because that's the newest. Set that on the rock here. And I absolutely love the MRE peanut butter, but it does for sure dry your mouth out, so we're going to be pretty sparing with this. Dabble, do you? Join these two in unholy matrimony. You got yourself an MRE PB&J. Let's give it a try. This has the same thing that this has, and I think the through line for the biggest appeal for these for me is that uncanny valley where it is approximating what it is supposed to be, and I find that endlessly entertaining, interesting to experience. It's an uncanny valley for food. Even that little bit of peanut butter though, a little too much. We'll get some of that blackberry jam in there so I don't choke and die out here. Not bad. I'll save the rest as dessert because the packaged dessert I'm not interested in. Peppermint candy rings. This is a take your time kind of deal. You enjoy this for a while, all day, couple days. Come pre-packed. That one was broken open, but individually wrapped. I'm gonna keep it for sure, but I have no need for it right now. Oh, you know, I said I was going to save that for dessert, but I might not have to because I forgot. We have our chocolate protein, or chocolate pudding with protein. That'll be interesting. But for now, beef strips and savory tomato sauce. It's interesting, the MREs that come with sides that feel planned out. feel in line with what you're eating, feels like they may complement what you're eating, accent what you're eating. And then you get other ones it's like, well, it feels like this ought to come with something, right? More than a PB&J. Well, it doesn't. And do the old sniff test. Not that I expect any otherwise, but just to put you in my shoes. If you were to sniff this, this would be the line of best fit in the Venn diagram between Chef Boyardee and cat food. So beef strips in savory tomato sauce. Cheers, friends. The beef always, for sure, feels like a pot roast. It absolutely falls apart in your mouth, and that's a good thing. And honestly, this is tasty, salty, tomatoey. It's savory. It says it right in the name. It's everything you would expect from this, but honestly a little bit better. And earlier I said that it should come with something else. I guess it doesn't really need it. You know what's interesting? The calories in the pudding is only 20 calories less than the calories in the main meal. The beef strips have 250 calories per pouch. The pudding, 230 calories per pouch. Protein, 29 calories per pouch for this, 14 for this, or for the pudding. For a grand total of 43 for 480 calories. Those are some pretty killer macros. Can't argue that. It's funny, this beef has like what looks like char marks on it. Can't imagine it was cooked over a fire. Well, this is good, man. If you're hungry, like I'm talking actually hungry, you just had a day of exertion of some sort, this would hit. You don't need anything else. Tastes good. Straight protein. 7.5 out of 10. A little palate cleanser. This will work great as a palate cleanser because it tastes almost like nothing and almost like something. That is wild. You ever have a pickleback at the bar where it kills the taste of the liquor? This is exactly like that, where it kills the taste of everything. It completely washes your mouth totally clean. I'm gonna head back to this for a sec. And we'll wrap up here, the meal portion at least, with the chocolate pudding with protein. If you've ever wondered what a chocolate pudding that's hot and vacuum sealed tastes like, you're about to find out. Now I could paint you a picture with this camera by pointing this at you and showing you what this looks like, but I'm not sure you want to see that. Some things they nail, and some things are just absolute hot garbage. This is one of them. But just because that's bad doesn't mean that we can't go back here. And honestly, this could be bad too. It's not, but it could be. And I'd still be grateful. I mean, look at, I'm sitting out here on a Wednesday having lunch in a beautiful, beautiful spot. How could I possibly complain about that? I couldn't, and I won't. Gonna make sure to pack out what we packed in. It doesn't matter if you're in a place that you wouldn't imagine people will get to. If you're there because it's beautiful, then keep it beautiful, right? You know what? I've been throwing these away. I ought to keep these. I've got a cache of rations at my house that would come with these, but you never know when you might need this. I'm gonna keep that separate. Been throwing them away the whole season. It's awful wasteful. This is the odds and ends pack. Didn't need it today, but we got Sandy wipe, regular napkins, matchbook, and I always take the gum out and stick it in my pocket for later. This time, it'll go in there with the mint rings. One last palate cleanser of what can only be described as wet cardboard. And I say that as an endearing joke, of course. That doesn't bother me one bit. And we're back at it. Now, if my estimation is correct, we have run a little bit short on this episode. Mostly because there wasn't much in the way of odds and ends and novelty in that MRE, and that's fine. I would give the whole pack a 7 out of 10. You would love it if you were craving meat, for sure. But as a consequence of having extra time to kill, you want to see what I see on my way back? Vermont is so beautiful, and it's never lost on me. And the crazy thing is, it's an incredibly diverse landscape. The state in itself is beautiful regardless of where you are, but in different regions is beautiful in different ways. Here in the Champlain Valley, we don't have very many of the traditional large mountains. We got plenty of rolling hills, but not much in the way of large mountains. But you get out to different areas in the state, my God, it'll take your breath away. Even living here. I had some friends come up from Texas one time, and I picked them up from the airport. It would have been a 40-minute drive to where we were going, but instead I drove them around a long way, 2 hours. Just showing them how crazy it is that the landscape changes so drastically, maybe every 20 miles. Every episode so far, with the exception of one in this 17 episode season, has all taken place in the same county. And that is wonderful to me. I'm so grateful. Look at these zebra mussels. You don't need much to be grateful. At least I don't. I'd encourage you to find things that you're grateful about as well. This was free. I love it. All right, let's get a time lapse back. Thanks for watching Rations. Peace out. Dude, I have never been in such dense, like, it just keeps going up. I'm 6 foot tall, dude. Check that out. Famous last words, right? This smell reminds me of my childhood. I like that. That's not seasoning on it, that's just dirt and grime from my hands. Feels nice though. Now we just gotta find camp. Nice. All right, let's try some slow-mo.